And as of yesterday, it came back, but not all. So you'll work with me here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm already kind of soft-spoken, so I apologize for that, but I will try to, and if you can just go like this, if I can't. But I'm Debbie Bryan, and I would be called a medium, I guess. And I've been blessed with these gifts all my life, and I've always been able to, as I would say at 3-4 years old, dream what was going to happen. I had no idea that those were visions. You don't know. And when you're 3-4 years old, you're telling your parents, "Oh, I just dreamt that." They're like, "Yay, good job." So I had no idea what this was, what it was. I did not like knowing who was going to, I say, cross or die next. I thought I was cursed with that, and I kept that to myself because that was just what he wanted, say that bad news and so on. But later on in life, I realized that it is a blessing because that person's time was up. They were going to cross soon, and it was that you were being told to go ahead and connect with them and to make sure that things that you say that you love them and just but not to tell them, of course. I never shared that with anybody. So, but I went to college where I have a computer science and a business degree, so I went the very analytical route, right? And just because I promise you, I did not know how to study at all, but I had help constantly. They were always helping me. I had no study habits. I don't know how I made it. I got two 4-year degrees in 5 years, and trust me, it was from them. So blessed, so blessed, but allowed me to go with that analytical side too. So when you have these gifts, there's some people that are very analytical that won't let you in their life because if you're only been a spiritual person, they're like, "Oh, okay, you're living in la la land," and you haven't made it in the real world. So that's why I've been blessed to be able to balance the analytical side and the spiritual side.
Wonderful.
Yes. And so I had to learn how to filter these gifts, though, because they're always on. Yes. And so, I'm sitting in my office, and, we get visitors coming in, and they're talking and whatever, and I'm going like this. Okay, yeah, what? Yeah, this back, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm watching like a ping pong match in the air. I got to watch because my employees are going to come in and go, "What the world is going on?" So I had to learn how to make sure that they weren't always interrupting my life, but they were always welcome, but not taking center stage. And so with that, I learned how to filter. And the filter, actually, I envisioned a filter above me, and I would say that I'm turning this filter on or turning this filter off. And I intentionally went through the process of learning how to filter this. So if you get overwhelmed, you can learn how to say, "Okay, thank you, you're welcome, but maybe not right now." Or I'm trying to go to sleep, and all these people are coming to talk to me. My kids, it was horrible. It was horrible. At 5 years old, they could not go to sleep, both of them at the same time, when they were both at 5. They couldn't go to sleep because there was too many people with them. And so you have to teach them how to filter. You have to, at the time, you can't say, "Oh, you're so blessed." No, they're not. They don't want to be different, but learn how to filter that, okay? But always say the intentions. You're always welcome when I'm ready for it. I don't need to be overwhelmed. All right. So the first thing I want to do is just lead a meditation, just a few minutes, because I know that everyone here is going to be able to see through their third eye. Of course, your third eye is right here. This is where we connect with our pineal gland. This is where you can see things, but you see things when your monkey brain stops, okay? So we're going to stop your monkey brain, and you're going to listen, and you're going to trust. And some people need to keep their eyes open. I don't. I like my eyes shut because I know that there's no ego involved, and I know I get to see who and what I want to see, okay? So we're going to do that. And before we start, we had some company come in. And while we were here, and I don't know if anybody can see, probably my vibration's really raised because I'm feeling mine going like this right now, but if you stare at my eyes, you can see this, because when you raise your vibration up, then it's the higher archangel God source energy that you become. And so we had some colors come in, if anybody sees them. Saint Germain came in, he's like a purple lavender. We had Raphael come in with a emerald. And then, and we'll talk about this a little later, but Divine Feminine or Mother God came in, and she's got a deep pink color. And that's someone we've been working with since January, I think, and her energy is so beautiful. So if you just see colors, believe it. Someone told me, I think it was Sally, said one time we were doing meditation, and I told him, I said, she goes, well, I really don't see it too much, or I don't see visions or whatever. I said, sometimes you're watching a TV that has snow on it. Now our kids aren't going to even know what that is. What? Snow on a TV? Do internet. But your third eye might feel like a snow energy. It starts as gray, and then you just feel like a snow, right? I want you to stare through that snow energy, that vision. Stare through that and watch intensely, because I promise you're going to see something, but you cannot doubt it. You are the first that put that doubt in your mind.
Yes.
You might not see it, you might feel it, you might sense it, but it's there. And that's the start of really opening your third eye and connecting. Okay?
Nice.
Yes?
Sometimes before I fall asleep, and my eyes are closed opposite, but it looks like the insides of my eyelids are screens, and I see things that I don't even really know what they are, but they're animated. They seem, what is
That, well, that's your third eye. You're seeing that. And that might be who you're connecting with at that time. And one of the things when I'll go through this, always put your intentions out even before you go to bed. You only, well, those I do, it's up to you, but you only want to be in light and love.
Right.
God created light and dark, source, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but source created both. There's no coincidence in life. So the light and love is always true. So always put that intentions out there before you start. So, and sometimes some of you guys might even say things that might look crazy, even like demented faces and so on. So they might be okay. So you might think, oh my goodness, that's dark. Don't worry. Just stay in your heart. Don't scare them away. Just stay in your heart, send a love out, and go only light and love are allowed. They will stay if they're light and love. If they're not, they will go away or they will dissipate. You cannot be in fear. And that's when you'll know that you have the light working with you. But it's about staying in your intentions and your power. And don't waver that. Okay? Are we ready? So everybody get a comfy seat. Okay. And we're first going to take a breath. All the way in, take it all the way into your belly button. Because an exhale, every stress, worries, and doubts. And inhale again. And breathe in all the light and love and the beautiful vibrational energy and all the guides that are around you right now. Exhale any doubts, worries, and stress. You are safe, you are loved, you are protected. You are only allowing your light and your love and the truth in. Now a breath again. And exhale slowly. Relaxing everything, all your muscles. I only want you to listen to my voice. Stop your brain. Listen to the commands. You're going to be safe, loved, and protected. And now in front of you, with your eyes, I would say shut, but it's up to you. With your eyes shut, I want you to envision a beautiful cloud. This cloud is so safe. It's so warm, it's so fluffy, and I want you to jump on it. You know what? You really see that. You're opening your third eye. It's there. You need to trust. Jump on that cloud. You are so light. You are so free, and you are so happy. You can be a little kid doing flips, backflips, whatever you want, because This is just setting you free. Knowing there's no worries, no doubts. You are so carefree and protected. And now I want you to look up in the sky. Further up, there's another beautiful cloud. And I want you to jump to this next cloud, knowing that without any worries or doubts, you will make it there. You made it safe into this cloud. You are raising your vibration, you're higher your energy, you're getting closer to the source of truth. You might feel a little energy shaking in your third eye. Don't worry, it's because you're raising your vibration. And now I want you to look again, up in the sky. And there's another cloud. And I want you to go jump to that next cloud, knowing you made it perfectly, knowing that it's safe and carefree. And then I want you to look in front of you. In front of you is doors. These are your doors. These doors are unlocked for you, and you always can go to these doors on your own. When you go to the doors, you are going to be in your place, your utopia, your safeness, your zone. And I want you to go ahead and open your doors, and I want you to trust what you feel, what you smell, where you are, the tranquility, the safeness, and opening your doors, going into your place, knowing you are safe. This is your safe zone. This is where you come to find oneness and to be always protected. I want you to look around, see what it looks like. What did you pick? Because this is for you. I want you to look at the scenery, take it all in, walk around, feel, resonate. This is home. This is where you're going to come. And you'll always be welcome back. And then look around and see if anybody's there. Someone might be with you, a past loved one, or even one of your guides. They don't talk, they mental telepathy talk to you, but go and ask who's here. Ask if there's someone's with you. Find their name. Hug them. Reunite. Trust that you see who you see. Okay. Now we are going to remember everything and everywhere and how we felt so calm, so peaceful, so in truth and protected. And we're going to thank you and remember everywhere we've been. We're going to go ahead and walk back to the door, through the door, onto the cloud. And you're going to go jump down to the next cloud, remembering everything and how you feel and allowing your vibration to be higher. And jump down again, bringing your soul back to this realm. And again, to the last cloud. And when you're ready, you can step off that last cloud and come back into this body. Wiggling your toes, your fingers, trying to get back into this reality. Wow, nice job. What a calmness. Very good. Very, very good. Does anybody want to share? I know I don't want to spend all the time sharing, but did anybody have any really cool, did they meet any past loved ones? Did anybody get to meet a past loved one? Yes, go ahead. Aww.
Just yes, and that's it.
What?
Just yes, that's it.
Oh, okay. Very good. You know they'll be there for you. Any questions on that? You guys are all zen now. I love it. And I was going to play this music, but I better wait. So, very good. Thank you. Okay. One of the cute stories, this is messages from above, and there were some things that they came down and said, okay, talk about this, this, and this, so I was taking a few notes. And on Thanksgiving, my brother-in-law cooked his uncle gave him a fresh turkey, right? And he was cooking it, and he told me, he says, the fresh turkeys cook longer than frozen ones, okay? So it was an hour and a half before we were eating, and the turkey was done. And he was like, I think there was 28 or 30 of us for Thanksgiving. Wow. So it's a big family affair. And he's like, oh no, and he started to spaz, and I'm like, he's like, oh my goodness, it's gonna be ruined, and I went, he's going on, and I said, stop. He goes, why? I said, because your thoughts, your words are energy. He's like, I said, you need to stop. You can change this whole thing. It doesn't have to be this way. And he's like, all right, you're right. I said, so it will be fine, right? We're just going to put it over there. We're going to keep a towel over it. We're going to keep it on top of the stove. And then when you're, a little bit before your time, you can throw it back in, and it will be fine. And so he did that. I don't eat meat, but everybody else raved about the turkey, okay, after Thanksgiving. So I'm sitting there in the one room, and I hear him tell my kids and maybe my nieces, and he says, you know what Tria did? He says, Mrs. Zen over there, he says, I was freaking out about the turkey, and she told me, don't do that, whatever, don't put that energy in that mind. And he goes, and then it worked out fine and everything. They're like, oh yeah, it was great, whatever. And then they were like, oh, and by the way, did she come with her essential oils? And did she come with her her stones? And did she come with it? And I was like, they're going on all like saying their little things, and I'm like, wow, they kind of like get me, which they don't say they get me, but they get me. And I'm like, cool, thanks. Good. And I know. And then finally, they're all putting their 2 cents in, and I'm giggling because I could hear it in the other room. And then finally, I'm like, and it worked! And he was like, yeah, it worked. So that's what I'm going to tell you. We are all energy. We are all vibration. And that includes our thoughts and our words. Okay? We can connect with each other. We don't need to physically talk. We can mentally communicate. I can communicate with above. It's just energy. It's about vibration. Mm-hmm. So, get into positive thoughts. We're human. A negative thought could come across our way, right? Or something just happened horribly to so-and-so. And I don't know, like so-and-so just lost their, who was it? Oh, one of the girls from Rising Sun lost her stepson. He died very young. I don't even know if we know how he passed, just the last week. And so, you get into that fear-based mode. Like, she's like, oh my goodness, now I have 2 sons, and blah, blah, blah. I said, stop. Stop with that. Even though life happens, you still get caught in those words and those thoughts. You have to stop and make that change. And make that conscious effort to change. And then go, well, you know what, you need to let that go. Because there is no coincidence, and it all is in divine time. And your words and thoughts co-create too. So we need to stay in our positive. And when you can't stay in your positive, you get a tribe. And this tribe could be Emerging Hearts, it could be another group, whatever. You get a positive tribe that you can go to. Someone that will help you get into those words. Because we all have it, right? Right. We all are human. We're going through this. Why are we here? We don't feel emotions on the other side. There's no pain. There's no emotions. There's no feelings, because it's perfect utopia. So we're coming down here for this small book. What is the meaning of life? Life lessons. This little book came from Archangel Uriel. My goodness. Just a few years ago when I was in my 30s. So he came down and he put this puzzle together. And then he took me up to heaven, and I was completely meditating, wide awake in my body, and he took me up to heaven, and he showed me why we're here. He showed me that we come down, before we even come down, we have a contract. But guess what? We make our own contract. Because you want to learn and you want to grow. Why? Because there's emotions here. There's a way to feel. And so you go through that. You come down for a human experience. This is the only linear time. All the others are non-dimensional. There's no time.
Right.
This is our time. So coming down here for this experience is like nothing. It's like a drop in the bucket. And then when you leave on the other side, they're like mourning you going. And when you cross over or die, they're like, woohoo, you're back. And it's like nothing. It's no time there. Uh-huh. So he showed me an experience. He showed me how we have our contracts before we even come down. And we pick them. And so he then showed me a little scene of a little girl. She was so cute. She was in high school. She was a cheerleader. You could tell she had her little cheerleading outfit on, and she was bebopping and driving along. And she goes through perfectly doing the right thing, going through a green light. And she gets sideswiped and killed by a drunk driver who ran a red light. And he showed what happened with the families. Because the little girl had 2 other younger siblings. And they were a fabulous family. Well, it tore the family apart. The parents hated that drunk driver so much that they couldn't go on with life. They started fighting, angry, and then it completely tore their family apart. They got divorced. The other 2 kids fell off the radar. They were like exemplary kids, and they just barely got through school. And so when the parents got divorced, and it was horrible. All they did was they wanted to get back at the drunk driver. They hated him so much. And then the drunk driver, they showed me he was the sole provider for his family. And so he had kids. And so when he got thrown into jail, his wife lost everything. And they were out of the streets. So their life fell apart too. And couldn't stand, couldn't stand him. And they got divorced. And then the domino effect just kept affecting everybody. And I was like, oh my goodness, I really don't want to watch this. And I don't know if I cried, but I was definitely crying inside. And he showed me that he brought them both up above the situation. And he showed me, he said, when they come up here, watch them. And they came up and they were hugging and loving and kissing. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, they're soul family. I'm like, huh? He goes, yeah, both of them get chills. Did I get confirmations now? Chill bumps? Yeah? All right, Nicole. Chill bump, confirmations, okay. But before they even came down, they made this contract. But I'm like, why? What? What'd you cause this? He's like, because they both loved each other. They had to come, he promised he'd do this for her and she'd do this for him. And they came down to help other families go through these lessons. But go through the pain, the suffering, the whatever. But also, of course, not expecting them to self-implode their families. They were hoping they would kind of get it and kind of learn from this. Well, quite obviously, that family didn't get it. But they were fine with it, the 2 that crossed over. I don't even know if they gave me names at that time. So, what I will tell you is that there's no coincidence. We are all here with a contract that we pick, we go through. But those events are going to happen because guess what? You asked for it. But those events can be a lot less if you kind of learn to go with that unconditional love of what source is. Okay? So that event's going to happen. Now, sometimes people go to me, oh my goodness, I keep having this repetitive money issue. And I swear I'm really doing well with my money. I'm making better decisions. I'm not, haphazardly spending it, whatever. And I'm like, well, guess what? She's like, but I said, it's not about money. This is your perseverance lesson right now. And she's like, oh, okay. So she got to step out of that situation, see the bigger picture and what her lesson was. And she goes, thank you. It makes so much more sense. And then a little bit later, she told me, she goes, and by the way, because of knowing it's my perseverance lesson now, the money is getting much better for me. Money situations. I'm like, good. So again, no coincidence there. So you guys have any questions? Yes?
I kind of want to add to that a little bit if you don't mind.
No, please.
One, I did have a crossover experience, and so I just want to share that everything you're talking about has been validated even in my own experience when I asked Jesus,
Mhm.
why is all this happening? And he said, because you agreed to it. He said you can do this.
Mhm.
And so not only, when you look at energy as either created or destroyed, it's simply transferred from one element to another, right? So it's about transmutation. So in the event that you come here with this list of things that you want to accomplish and you don't accomplish them, you don't transmute the energy, that energy then stays in this field for someone else to have to come back here and transmute that energy. So if you have come into, why the hell is this going on in my life? Why are these lessons so hard? Why is this such a big picture? I mean, it's really it's sacred in the way that you've agreed to take that energy that someone else may not have been able to resolve in their lifetime and transmute that in your own world. So, I mean, it's an honor and a curse at the same time, but it's still a beautiful, when you make those steps from taking that darkness and transmuting it into light in your own life, it's such a powerful domino effect, just like you said, it goes out for everyone. And so there'll be less and less of that coming into the field that we'll have to transmute
Right.
in future lives, so.
Yes, or we don't have to come back down.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just, I wanted to share with you
Thank you.
that
Yes.
I've also received that, and how beautiful it is when you get to watch someone, like how sacred it is when you watch someone transmute that darkness or that anger into love. It's such a sacred process, and such an honor to witness. So just wanted to share.
Thank you. Beautiful. Anybody else? Okay, very good. So, I'm asking right now. I'm always talking. They're always on. And well, I do. Like I told you, we have all many dimensions, and we're all vibrations. And so, one of the things that someone might want to know: yes, aliens are real. They are, but they're in a different vibration. They're coming, and they're really coming now so much more. And sometimes they're really coming into this energy to being in looking like in our vibration. But most of them are in a higher vibration now. Okay. Yes.
I surmise that orbs are aliens.
Are aliens? Well, they could. They're visitors. I mean, a lot of my orbs are angelic, archangels typically. But
Okay.
yes, but they're visitors.
Okay.
Yes, with a higher vibration. Yes.
How does the thought of karma fit into the contract you make? You don't ask for that karma, but you have to earn it, or if there is a correlation there.
Okay. Well, karma is now gone. Okay, because we're raising our vibration. So because we have a faster vibration, we're living more in the moment, and we're actually manifesting and co-creating now. But the karma was real back then, when we were in more in the third dimensional, and we're getting up to the fifth. Most of them are I'm probably sure all you here fifth aren't up. So what goes around comes around is that was real back then, but now we are going into living more of a manifesting, powerful times, and that's because you're raising your vibration.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
It's interesting that even like the Mayans and Native Americans, some of them have the idea of the fifth world is coming into being. You know, so it's kind of like it represents in a way the stages that we're going through in our development as we're being, elevated as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and when the Mayan calendar on December 21st, 2012, we had an angel. Remember, angel, oh my goodness, angel, anchor the angel energy. That's what they told me to do, so we did it. But they actually probably didn't. They probably said it right the first time, just I couldn't say it. On December 21st, so I was running Merging Hearts, and I followed everything that we needed to do. And that was the time, and the Mayans said it, that was the end of time, right? That was when they said it.
Right.
I had kids, my kids calling me, thinking that literally that was the last day of their life, and there were some people really willing to like blow all their money, and when I'm like,
No.
stop, no, I see the big picture in the future.
Yeah.
No, it's not the end. But what it was the start of the new going into the higher vibration.
Right.
So we were ending that third world vibration, the third, and even when we were here, we had I don't know if some of you guys, we had pictures, we did a labyrinth walk and so on, and there was hundreds of archangels. I was like, oh my gosh, all the archangels are down here with us. And if you would see our pictures of the labyrinth, you would see orbs, like insanely amount of orbs all through the labyrinth. It was, and if you would go into the one, it was like this big, you blow it up, you could see inside exactly what it was. I think I have my pictures, but Lisa, Maxie, she took the pictures, and it was, and so when we were in here, they said, make sure there's music, make sure there's, love and happiness, and I was sitting in here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we have company. I'm like, Source is out there. I'm like, wait, what? Like, right outside that door, and he's like, you listened. I'm like, yeah, I tried. And he's like, thank you. He says, there's enough light workers now, there's enough people with the intentions of doing this and raising vibration, and we're going to allow this to happen. So I think we were at that point. But there was enough people doing it, light workers anchoring the love, doing what they needed to do, and we went, and we were in the process of raising our vibration to a more of a source, God source love, unconditional love vibration. That's what source is. It's not what we were taught. Yes?
What happens to the people who choose not to raise their vibration?
Well, they either can cross over soon. There'll be like a lot of exiting, mass exiting. A lot of suicides and so on are happening because earth angels are like, I signed up to come down here and this sucks, and I don't like this vibration and the energy, and I'm checking out. Those people will still, they're still going to be here. We will have, when we raise to the 66% of us raising our vibration higher, we will just bring Earth up to a higher vibration, and it'll go very, very fast. So it won't be all. It won't be all. But I know a lot of us signed up to come talk about it and help people awaken and open and not be fearful, and not even be fearful of the aliens. 99% of them, maybe 95% are good. They want to come and help us with their new technology.
Yeah.
They are really, really good. Don't be frightened of them.
In your opinion, where are we in vibration? Like you say, 66% will make it whole.
Yes.
Where are we now in your thoughts?
I'll ask.
Yeah.
45.
Ooh, that's good.
We're
Sure. Good.
And you can see it, because you could see, like, I don't know, even like, I don't really watch much TV, but those competition shows, singing, like Voice or whatever, you can see the contestants, because they were very competitive, and there was drama and all this, right? When, like, what was it, American Idol started? Wasn't there drama nonstop between all that competition? You remember that? Nowadays, are they so positive and loving and accepting? And what I love is that I know that the producers are not telling them they have to do that. They're doing it because it feels right.
They feel it.
They feel it.
Yeah.
And our kids, the young kids, are all way above us in vibration. They are truly coming down to help raise us, all of them. They are wise beyond years. Their soul knows everything. I speak to younger kids, even to high schoolers. There's everything resonates with them, so they know. They came down to help us, and that'll be helping, because we'll keep bringing in more population, and that'll help raise that. Good question. Anything else? Yes.
Could we just redefine aliens, because I feel like this word
Yeah.
has so many different meanings, so many different people.
Yeah.
So-
Well, one of the things they call them is star seeds. So whatever, star visitors, not star seeds are these kids, but yeah, star. I don't know, is anything else about Rainbow Unicorn? What have you heard? What do we call them?
I think that there's a little concern that I have when we try to give a particular name or label. I would be comfortable with, we know how our families are. I would just say something of the cosmic family, because
Okay.
there's a lot of
I like that.
diversity.
I like that a lot.
A
Thank
lot of
you.
diversity there
Yes.
with the different natures and different ways of being.
I like that. Very good. Yes. Very good. Well, one of the things been working with a lot of them, and I don't even, honest to goodness, I don't even know names of their, like, I could describe what they look like, but to say, I don't know all of them. There's so many different cosmic, what did you say, cosmic? Family, so many cosmic family members, thank you, that I don't know all of them. And I know the certain ones that we can work with, but they've been coming in, and it's so awesome because their energy is awesome, and they're coming in to awaken us and raise our vibration and teach us. And one of the things that we've been working with, a group we'll talk about in a minute, but is working on that manifesting and raising our vibration. And they showed us that when we do this and raise it, which they can help because they're way above us, is that, I don't know if anybody saw Greg Braden, he has a video out on YouTube, but you can Google the medicineless healing, I think it is. But it was done in China, and it was practitioners, but they actually were Buddhist because they had the Buddhist garbs on, and they came in, and this person was from the States. She had bladder cancer. She did her homework, she did her research, she went and lived a Buddhist life for like 6 months over there. And so she was not in fear, she was in love, she was receiving, ready to receive this. They took her in with 3 practitioners, and literally they chanted for maybe 3 minutes. They had the x-ray, they had the ultrasound on, had the screenshot, the first one, they had the live one on. The bladder cancer was gone, completely gone. And what they said from our cosmic family is that you're going to be doing that. I'm like, what? Yes, you're going to be doing that. You're going to be able to make that change because you have to get yourself in the higher vibration. And you have to be in love and truth and see it done. So that time's coming. I know, be able to go ahead and go through. But they also said that you're not going to be able to heal somebody that will affect their contract, that they subconsciously don't want their contract affected. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. One of my guides is Jesus, Yeshua, whatever. Beautiful, Christed energy. He was not the only one. He's not the, Son of God. We all are of source.
Yeah.
Okay? He told me, and I was raised Catholic, like parochial school Catholic. He's like, I wasn't on the cross for your sins. And I'm like, huh? I was like in my 30s, I'm like, mouth literally could have dropped on the floor, right? I didn't doubted that. This is what it said. Okay. Other than how the church didn't like Mary Magdalene and they thought she was poor, which I was screaming inside myself all my life, and I was like, wanted to stand up and say no, but I'm like, you're 11 years old, be quiet. So he said, I wasn't on the cross for your sins. And I'm like, he goes, no, I'm just here to show you your soul never dies. I show you that there's something after.
Yeah.
And then he said, I always point up. I talk about the way, and everything he said, I went, oh my goodness, it completely makes sense. So you guys are here because you're doing it right. Because you know what? If you take away what, like a lot of the church is saying, is that he died on the cross for your sins.
Right.
What does that do? It puts fear and guilt in your mind. Right? And that's what he said he wasn't here for. He was here to show your soul never dies. He's like, and he didn't want this. He's like, I wasn't supposed to be the prophecy, and I was just here. Like, I don't want this accolades. I don't, he didn't want this. He's like I was always like, how does this happen? And it did. But I said to him, I said, well, what did you do? He said, well, let me show you how I did this. He said, yes, we healed. I was known as a prophet because I healed everybody thought they got healed. He goes, but when someone came up to me, they say, or I always asked. I asked from above. Can this person, what do they have? Can they be healed? He said, they would tell me how to heal, most of them, with frankincense, myrrh, turmeric, which gold. It wasn't gold, it was turmeric. He healed with earth elements and essential oils and so on. They would tell him how to heal. And then if that person couldn't be healed, he would heal them spiritually. He would tell them it's okay. There is life after. You're going to be fine. You're choosing to cross over. You're going to be in this place. It's going to be fine. So that's why he was the prophet, because everybody felt healed. And so he said, he reminded me how to start doing it in this lifetime too. And so I had a friend come to me, and she said, oh, my mom has been to every doctor for 2 months now. Her blood pressure is, and I forget the amount, but it was ridiculous. Her mom was 84, 100, whatever, 107, I don't know, it was 210 something over whatever, and they said she won't have long to live if she can't get this down. Nobody could help her. And I believed her that they went to every doctor, you know, because that's, and she said, can you help? And I said, oh, I can ask them. And I asked, and they came back and said, her teeth are rotten. And she went, huh? And I went, just messenger, her teeth are rotten. And so she said, well, maybe her dad has Parkinson. Her mom has been the caretaker for her dad nonstop. Maybe she has ignored her teeth. Very next day, so proud of her, very next day she was into the dentist. I was like, how can you get in the dentist the next day? I can't. But she did. I get a message. She texts me. Mom's teeth are all rotten. So within a week, she had all her teeth pulled. And the other message was is that when her teeth are pulled, she will be off all medicines and she will be completely healed. But it'll take some time. So her teeth got pulled. She got dentures within like a week. So impressed. Oh my God. So impressed. This turned around quick. Within less than a month, her blood pressure was completely normal, and she was off everything. So, to me, that's almost like a little miracle. If Jesus would have done that, he would have been the prophet, you know what I mean? And he healed her because of that. But that's what we have to understand is that we need to help. We need to make sure we are vibrating high in the highest vibration to get the truth and the right messages to help people heal. And it was such a beautiful thing. And those things, I could keep going on and on and on. I'm just so blessed with all the stories. But that's, just wanted to share that with you.
Wonderful.
Yes. Hi.
Shelley has a question.
Oh, I was going to say, you're going to say coach? No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Shelley's watching
Oh,
live.
okay.
Don't we all have the ability to heal ourselves?
Do we? Did she say don't we?
Do we?
Don't we all?
Don't we all?
Don't we all? If you are in that highest vibration, and that takes a lot. I was just working with someone, a client that was on the phone, and she works with PTSD, and she's a doctor, and that's her passion, working with them. And we had a phone reading, and she was like, oh my gosh, she got the big picture, and she understood what happened in her life, and why this event happened negatively to her, and because they showed me what happened, and so on. And then she said, this all makes sense, I feel so healthier. I said, and they just said, by the way, you can't go and tell everybody this is your path, this is your, no victim card, this is your journey, this is what you picked, especially when you have this PTSD group, that's your passion. I said, it's not, they need to heal first. You have to heal, you have to process your emotions, and then you have to go through by raising your vibration. But you will be able to when you can get enlightened and in the highest vibration. And also be around people with it, and try to be more organic with your life, with your food, especially with your thoughts. And one of the biggest things I will tell you, and it comes through nonstop, is learn how to meditate, and meditate multiple times a day. That allows you to calm, allows you to connect, allows you to get messages. Yes?
The newest science is 16 seconds to meditate, so you don't have any excuses, you can do it. results, you know that you got the result. And so you know that you're walking in that.
By having the highest vibration, you're not gonna
Right.
care what people
You don't
think.
care what they think.
You don't care because you're walking the truth. And the truth, it doesn't matter because it is the truth. And so when they get their eyes open, it might be way behind you, and you might never see it in this lifetime. They'll get it. They'll see you're right. It's just stand in your power and your truth. Okay. Do you mind if I pick on you? Yes.
Sure.
Come here. I'm just a messenger. What's your name?
Charlie?
Charlie. Let's see, Charlie. Okay. All my intuitive friends here.
Okay.
Okay. Charlie, there's a lot weighing on you. All right? And I want you guys to go look within, but use your third eye. Go look at Charlie. Go look at his energy and go look at his soul. Now, because of confidentiality, we're gonna just be, a little discreet, you know what I mean, like that, but that's okay, and, because I'm all about confidentiality. Okay, but, now I'm asking, we've had a lot of helpers here, and you guys are very, very powerful too. And Charlie, you've heard this, right? What we talked about? Is it resonating with you? Because when you came in, your energy and aura is at least a 50% better since you walked in this room. Okay? So I knew you were receiving. Right? Good. And so I saw light come through from him. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask for permission. Always ask for permission. Okay? Now, I am asking all our helpers that came in to go through me and to go ahead and clear Charlie of all the sadness, all his lessons that allowed you to be a victim. Right? Uh-huh. Yes. Now I want you guys all to do the same. I want you to see Charlie in his highest love, light vibration. Watch, because you will see, if you have that gift of seeing, you will see a change around him. You will see his vibration higher. You will see light in his eyes. It'll sparkle. He came in so sad. And I was like, oh, I'm an empath too. And I'm like, that hurts, I gotta help. But I saw when we were talking, you were receiving. And I'm like, he's ready. He's ready for this. So, instead of talking about any situation, I want you to share what you see Charlie at right now, in your third eye. All right, Ron. Yes?
Could you repeat the question, please?
What do you feel I want you to go look at Charlie and I want you to go see him healed in your third eye. Go within. See Charlie getting through his lessons, taking away your victim card, making smarter, better decisions with love. Changing.
The only thing I have is that the real struggle is within, it's not outside of you,
Yes,
So-
I've been,
Yeah.
I'm sending all this energy through. Yes, exactly.
Right.
There's
But that's partly about releasing
Mhm.
as well.
right.
So because once you realize you're the source of your own conflict, then you can fix it,
Mhm.
so.
Yes.
And all those other people and all those things are gone. They're not here now. It's just you, and that's up to you.
That's right. And there's no more pointing the finger. It's taking ownership. Yes.
I have the color gold.
Oh, perfect. Beautiful.
You did?
Thank you.
I saw it
I
was
get
like yellow,
colors.
gold.
Okay.
I get colors a lot.
Good. Send it, please. Send it to him. See him all embellished, all in this gold energy. So who can see his energy outside? He's seeing. All right, Nicole, go ahead. Sorry, it's them.
I just saw this vision of you, and I don't know your circumstances or what you're going through.
Well, don't talk about that. I just wanna.
I just saw the
Yes.
vision of you in complete, like, you had this mass release. I'm not sure what it is that you need to let go of, but you have this mass release, and as soon as that happened, like, this confidence came pouring over you, this deep knowing
Yes, you are very much a light worker. You're like, about a week ago, prior, you'd be like, heck no, I'm not gonna do this, oh, you're crazy, whatever, but now, you're like, oh, wait, this is feeling right, this is feeling good, right?
It's so beautiful to see. It is so beautiful to
Be part of this journey, yes.
Good.
Yes. I think I looked that way first. You all can go, go ahead, Bo, go ahead.
Well, what came to me, Charlie, is that there's no way that you can hurt anyone's feelings without their permission, if that makes any sense to you. That's all.
Just messages, but not about events, please. Okay? Go ahead.
Just my read,
Yes.
because I don't see.
Don't stop with that, I don't.
Okay, so
See, that's energy.
my read is I
And
see.
when are you going to see
I
even
see
deeper?
I see a great deal of potency. I see a very strong and charismatic change agent,
Yeah, huge. It's happening.
waiting to emerge. And all the struggles that you've been given so far, they exist only so when you pass through them, you have that knowledge and understanding you can then help others.
Yes, that's really what you're here for. Did you need that?
Yeah, I definitely do appreciate it.
Well, just sometimes you feel lost when you really don't know.
I finally am beginning to pick myself up and start the healing process when I ignored it for way too long.
But remember, the past is the past. This past is to teach. It's a past to grow. It's not to hold on to. Okay? So you can't go, well,
It's
Yes.
all lessons. Don't
it
be,
is.
Don't
Oh,
be, don't be,
trust me.
don't be the victim.
That's
you
right.
know.
But it's hard because you can't tell that to everybody.
Well,
You can't tell.
it's just in the sense of that it's about recognizing your own power, and if you turn around and you say, I made these choices, you're going to have a much easier time accepting it and seeing the lessons within it.
And find their humor. They're
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes.
Absolutely hilarious.
And not to make any perceived failure your identity. It's just something that happened. Things happen.
Definitely, and at the end of the day, it was myself who let myself fall from,
Yeah.
events.
No,
And so
but how about we
it's-
change those words? Sorry.
Sorry.
But those, at the end of the day, it was yourself that's gonna put you through those lessons to learn and grow. Now, it's a mindset. This is, Tesla, that's how Tesla connected to source and got his things, is a mindset of that manifesting, and Tesla taught it to Einstein, and you can, right here, this power of this room, all see you positive, okay? And in light and healing. There's a huge difference. I wish we should take pictures, before and after.
You follow it straighter and
Yeah.
see it even.
But you see the
Like,
light, the positive, and the, the love, but you know what? Life gets in your way, but just reach out. There's so many beautiful people here to find a source. Don't let it drag you down. It's okay, a half step backwards, but we need help turning around. And that's how you have to reach out and get our tribe. It's so important to have a loving, healing tribe.
Thank you.
Oh, anybody want to come feel the energy back here now? Whoa, it's like a vortex. Maybe you can.
Great. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're open. You're open now.
He's also very brave.
Well, I want to be confident. There's a point, So, but I asked for permission. But I was talking to you ahead of time. Did you hear me?
I could, I
Yeah.
saw you a couple times look at me and I knew you were gonna call me up.
I talked to you ahead of time. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Good job. All right. I don't know, do you want to talk about that? I just, again, I have some things jotted down, but they usually kind of control it. So does anybody have questions about that? Or, you saw it. Did you see it? I mean, literally, like, just the lightness and because a light and love is truth.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. No coincidence you're all here. Needed you all. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Drink of water here. So, I do want to tell you that this book right here, I got a call, and it was this company, and they're like, hey, we just nominated your book. We want to get your book nominated for the International Book Fair. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm getting scammed, but I'm just going to listen to them. Go ahead, whatever. And I started listening to them, and they said that they, you have to be represented, and then you have to, the representatives go to the book fair, and you can go too. And this is where you go and find publishers outside the country. And I'm like, what? And I'm like pinching myself going, this has got to be a scam, but I can't feel myself, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did this happen? And he said, well, we have people read books outside, and then they rate the books. And then the top rated books come within. And then we read them in-house. And so then when the top rated books that are read in-house, we go and we ask if we can go promote you internationally. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, right. I'm like, okay, thanks. Let me go do my research. Let me send all this information out, and stuff. And he said the reason why they picked it is because that message needs to go to the world. I'm like, yeah, I know that, but what? This is really happening. This is crazy. And so I call this client I never met, and he's in Vegas. He has all these. He has a huge marketing research company they actually have been merging with other marketing. He's been buying them up, I guess. And so I call him and I said, I need help. Can you research this too? Because everything I research about this company is legit. And I'm like, trying to poke holes. And I call him and he takes the phone call and he talks to me. He goes, absolutely, send me all the information. He goes, okay, I gotta go. He goes, I should get going though. We'll talk a little bit later. I went, okay. He goes, I just walked out of a meeting at the New York Stock Exchange. I'm taking my company public. I'm like, wait, you walked out to talk to me? Oh, what? He's like, yeah. 2 days later, he gets back. He's like, this is legit. So this book is going to the International Book Fair. And hopefully that we can make Canton on the map. And this is my home. Berkshire, Merging Hearts was my family's for 38 years. So we're going to put all of us on the road, on the map here. And so they did say that once you, go there, get represented, that you should have another books in the works. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This took me 8 years, and them fighting with me for 8 years to do this. Authors should not go by my brain because there's a party in my brain all the time, and I can't write. My brain is so vast, I can't write. And like English class, lit class in college, I got my first B- ever in my life because my professor was like, this doesn't make sense. I said, well, you told us to do free writing and write what's on our brain. Well, I had 30 things I wrote down. He was like, B-. I'm like, you told me to write what's on my brain. And I was like, no. You get one topic, you write about that topic, but that's not my brain. So I'm not a writer, but another book is in the works, and we're getting that. And one of the things that was given from above, and it was here during the gong shower. Shower? Is that what we do? Shower, not gong show. We want to say gong show, but it's shower. I was in a deep meditation, and they told me to start a movement. The movement was going to be called Trueism. Trueism with an E, because the word has to be true, has to be spelled out. This is a movement that will never be about religion. It will be about the truth. It will be about raising your vibration, help, knowing that we have help, and so on. And so that was started, and of course all connected because Merging Hearts is my home, and it's all going to be connected with this place, and we're going to eventually just change people's outlooks, vibrations, words. Remember, we're powerful. Even thoughts. Yes.
Well, how do we get a copy of your book?
Oh, I have some here today. I do. I brought you in. It's Emerging Hearts has some to sell too, but I have plenty. Don't order any online. Actually, I did it through Balboa, which is Hay House, and but don't go there. A lesson learned: if you ever need to do that, you don't need them, and they prices are ridiculous, and they really don't help you, promote whatever the book. Everybody's like, but they're the spiritual, and they took the book, so that was a compliment, but they don't help unless you're having which he's passed, the Wayne Dyer or whatever, those kind of books. That's who they really help. So I've learned a lot of lessons. It's all about lessons, and I'm learning them. And I even have these gifts all my life, and I still don't have an easy button. You're like, really? Come on. Are you kidding me? Where's my button? So again, find humor.
Right.
It really helps because they are really funny. Any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Our angels,
Yes.
do we choose our angels when we make our contract, or are angels assigned, or?
They've been with your soul. Your soul,
Okay.
and your soul never dies. So they've been with it. Some come and go. You have guardian angels, but they can even come and go. Usually you have a guardian angel stay with you your whole entire life, but others will come and go for your situation, and then because we'll put you through this lesson, and I'll help you get through this, and so they'll be there with that. Even archangels come and go, but remember, we're linear. They're not. They can be anywhere and everywhere at once.
Right.
So you can have, like today we had Raphael, Metatron, Saint Germain, Mother God. If you, they can be always there, and they really bring a high vibration. You feel this flutter, or maybe a ring in your ear, or some people get prickles on their top of their heads. They can bring a very high energy in. And and when you can go into your meditation, and that you put an intention out before you do that. Go to your sacred space, put the intention of, can I get to know my guardian angel? When you walk through your place, whatever word you hear, and it might not make sense to you, a word, because they have light language there. So, but just trust it, that's who
That's the
it
hardest
is.
thing.
Yes, the trust. Yes, stay in your heart. Our heart has a brain. You need to stay in that brain.
And
Not this analytical.
how do you describe an orb in your?
Orb is an energy that,
Yeah.
and they could, my orbs are typically archangel energies, but they could be angelic, they could be, but because they're at a different vibration, they're like a pop of energy. I love that a lot of them come on your peripheral vision, and it's a little spark of energy. And you just go, they won't go, oh, hi, I'm here, anything like that. No, but they go over here, and there's this and then you have to trust. And I always say, go within, because you get out of your ego, get out of your monkey brain, and go within and see who's here. It could be someone who's passed, then puts a message, or it could be one of your angels' guides.
And they're attracted to the vibration then of a person.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you see them sometimes, and sometimes a lot, and sometimes a few. And
Well, and ask, like if you go take pictures, ask them to show themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's probably bad timing, but on the Trueism website, trueismmovement.com, you could see on the first page, you'll see a big picture, and you can actually see a huge mothership with about 12 orbs, because I knew it was here, right? And I'm walking to work, it's really pretty early in the morning, and you see a beautiful rainbow energy through it. And I went, oh, hey guys, oh, you're here. Oh, hi, whatever. And then I went, hey, oh, wait, I take my phone, I go, smile. And I took a picture of them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all the orbs are on each point of the mothership. That you can see that energy.
And you show it on a picture?
Oh, yeah, go look at, yes,
Oh,
I can
there.
pull up, actually, I have it on my phone or whatever. Yes, you can see all the different orbs.
Yeah, Lisa, she takes pictures at the fire walk.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, I'm
she
sure.
showed them, and there's so many of them around there.
Yes.
And I was wondering.
Oh, yes.
and
This
you-
place has been loaded from
Yeah.
previous
You'll
owners.
take a number of pictures in a row,
Yes,
and there would be none.
yeah.
And then the next picture, it just, there's one from 2 2 years ago, where everyone that attended the fire walk were, and then that's when the fire was actually burning at its full
Mhm.
capacity. And so I took a picture way back, and the whole group was all the way around the fire, and I took a number of pictures, and there was nothing, and then there was just a bazillion orbs, and it was
Yes.
just amazing.
It
And I
is.
caught a number of pictures with people
Yeah.
with
Yep.
the orbs.
You could even go like and see.
I've actually
yes.
had outside or daytime orbs
Uh-huh.
manifest.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but not for everyone. You're blessed if you get them in your pictures. They're not for everyone. So I remember my daughter was doing homecoming, and the pictures that were at my house, and there was a group of them, and they went in our front room, and you know they're all standing with their couples in a pretty big area, and then we all take pictures, and there's about 3 other moms that were like, "Oh my gosh, something's wrong with my camera." And they show me, and they were all filled with orbs. So it was mine, but I had to giggle. And I'm like, and they were both saying, "Oh, my camera," and I just got my mouth shut because they weren't ready, you know, like that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, whoever got the good picture, send it, because yeah, 3 of us got all the orbs. They were loaded. They couldn't even see the kids, you know. I went to Tulum, and I was told to go, and we were down in Cozumel, and went to Tulum, and I walked in, and literally, I heard the place go crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Like, and they're like, yeah, like, cause like, I think this was one of my, like, I had a lot of perseverance lessons to get there, you know, just because, you know, Cozumel, you have to take a boat, you know, find the right thing, and actually I thought I was going to Chichen Itza, but it wasn't the time, so I went to Tulum, and when my pictures, every picture at Tulum, you could hardly see anything behind it because it was so many orbs in that picture. But they were all like, "The party's screaming," and I'm looking around like, okay. I made it, I persevered, yes. So, yeah, they're there, absolutely, and
Yes,
blessed to see
yes.
them. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, wow, that was nice. Yes, wonderful.